Hey everyone, doing a video today around what one thing of probably many things makes the Spyerco military knife a special knife. So you've seen it before, plenty of reviews out there, etc. One of the things I'm going to talk about is the fact that it has a G10 on it, right? Oh, G10, big deal, right? And G10, for those aren't familiar with knife manufacturing, is just the material for the scales or the handles. It's this black material here. I don't know how it's going to show up on focus. Let me see if I can get a different view of that. Well, that's about the best it gets, but so that's what G10 is. And it comes on many knives. They don't all have to be expensive. This is a Kershaw Skyline that also has G10. Okay. This is a Kershaw Leak G10 with a different, more aggressive texturing. Benchmade nitrous striker with a more chalky, smooth G10, and the Spyerco Tenacious, very popular knife as well. And lastly, I have a Bird Cara, also has G10. These are low-end Bird Spyerco knives. Point there is that they do not have to be all expensive, where the military is probably the most expensive knife in this pile. So what's so great about the military G10? It is much thicker than what you normally see on other knives. So if you look at the construction of it, there's no really internal steel framing. You do have the liner lock right here that kind of runs through and gets thinner to the back end of the knife right about here. But the G10 slabs are much thicker and more sturdy than other knives. So high durability, no flexing at all. And this is actually the only knife that I have where it's full G10 of a pretty thick construction. So here's a comparison, right? The Kershaw Skyline. This is probably the closest one I have to the military of all things. The G10 is a hair thicker. You can see but this one has a liner right here, okay? And if you compare it to the common Tenacious, right, the G10 scales are pretty thin, and it's lined, steel liners here, okay, which makes it heavier. Same with the Cara, steel liners. Sometimes the steel liners are skeletonized or drilled out. This one is. It's hard to see here on camera though. And then you see the Leak, also lined and not drilled out. Okay, and then finally you have this example of the G10. It's almost just window dressing for this knife, the nitrous striker. The internal steel here is not drilled out, but it's still pretty light. But the G10 on this thing is real thin, almost fragile thin, and I've talked about that in videos on this. So again, to summarize, what makes the military special, right? Well, it's the high grade, high quantity G10. Again, the G10 is good through all weather. It's good in water. It holds good grip, right? It's pretty indestructible. And the military has a high volume of it. So many of you may have already known that, but just something interesting to talk about later.